What's going on? Dan Klein here. I'm going to go over something pretty easy, pretty basic. There's a lot of different renditions of this. You know, I've seen it done in sets of 5 as far as the different process. But this will just be a really simple process, whether you're a local business, whether you're e-commerce business. I use this specific model in my service business that I own. And I'll break it down to you really quick. So let me... Right here, this is pretty self-explanatory, but this is really where you got to start no matter where you're at. So whether you're using Facebook marketing, whether you're using your website, a landing page, AdWords, your hook is everything. How do you hook the customer in? Let me tell you, most businesses get this wrong. They try to give and sell, they try to sell this or sell their top-end service right here. And that's the problem. So if you think of this thing like a funnel is being overused, but I'm going to use it anyway because I don't know how else to explain it. If you think of this like a funnel, if you had 100 people come to your website today, or come to a Facebook post or whatever you're doing, your goal is to get as many of these people into your sales funnel, right? You want to get as many people into that. Well, if on your post or on your hook that you're doing, it was, hey, buy my, I saw a good one the other day, I'll actually give you a good example. She did laser lipo, and her AdWords was, 9 sessions, I looked at this with her, 9 sessions for $14.97. And I asked her and I said, has anyone ever bought that? You're running AdWords, you're paying for this on a daily basis. Has anyone ever bought that? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, why are you running it? Well, it's a good deal. Yeah, and I'm not saying it's not a good deal, but the chances that someone goes and drops $14.97 from an AdWords campaign is so slim, right? So the goal is, let's say 100 eyeballs saw her ad. Where most businesses get it wrong is because they're like, oh, I'm paying per click, I'm paying whatever, or Facebook ads, I'm paying for this, I'm paying for that. They forget, like, look, if no one buys this, not only are you're out all this money you spent on ads, you got none of these, you have no leads, you have no nothing. So wouldn't it be smarter if you're going to spend, let's just say your budget's $100 to get 100 people, wouldn't you want a chance at every one of those people by giving them the most irresistible offering, the ridiculous offering, getting them into the top end here so that your process could take do the rest of the heavy lifting? When I owned Crusader Deals, which was basically Groupon or Living Social, just a local version of it, so often we'd run deals for businesses that, because our model was 50% off or more, we'd run a deal for these businesses, and there were deals these businesses would never do themselves. And it was like, are you serious? Look, not only am I taking 50% off your top end price, but then I'm going to take 50% of that money from you to run the promotion. When you're running ads all over town, and why not just run your ads at 50% off? Because I would send one email and sometimes do $20,000, $30,000 in business for a restaurant because I was offering their $25 gift card for 12 bucks. But yet they do marketing in the local newspaper or on AdWords or on Facebook or whatever, and they do 10% off. And it's like, yeah, well, if you show 100 people at 10% off, yes, some of them might come in here, but if you show 100 people 50% off, and that's one example, you're going to get tons more of these 100 people into the top end of your sales funnel to let your process take care of the rest. So we can call this the hook, we can call this the bribe. This could be the thing on the front end of your website where when they land on your website, you're saying, hey, let me give you this in exchange for some information. That's what's going to get them for you to do your follow-up sequence, or for you to make a phone call out to them, or for you to get them into your location and then go to here. Here is really, people call these different things. I think some have called it the tripwire. I call it the micro sale or the special sale. Specifically, I use this in one of my businesses where we hook them in with some free information, some free stuff, some really cool things. We get their information, we call them back, then we know that if we try to go to our top end product, our most expensive thing in what we really want to sell them, very few are going to book this appointment at this point. because it's going to be like, wow, that's kind of expensive. Well, a lot of businesses default right to that, you know. They call up, maybe they did a good job getting this, they call up and you say, well, you can get 9 sessions for $14.97. Wrong. What they should do is, hey, come in and get your first session, maybe, for 20 bucks. It's kind of a no-brainer, right? So now we've taken 100 people, got as many into this top end of the funnel. Now in the second line, we're saying, hey, just spend a little bit of money with us. Let us get some trust up with you. Let us, let's date before we get married. And that's that micro, that special sale. This works really good in the service business to get them in, to get them to trust you, because chances are this $20 sale is not going to give them the results that they necessarily ultimately want, but it gives them a barrier of entry low enough that they feel comfortable to do business with you. Okay, so after that micro sale or that special sale, what happens is, this is really when your sales process and your scripting has to be point on, because your sales people, whoever's dealing with the customers, needs to know that this is not the end goal, this is just the start, okay? But hopefully we've taken 100 of these people and got as many of those 100 down to this line, and now we're here, and this is really where we're gonna start to make our money. So I wanna sell them my upgrade at this point, okay? So they just bought the 20, I give them their service, I give them their product, whatever it is, and I say, hey, by the way, we have X, Y, and Z, and if you get it right now, it's at this special price, or it's at this price that it's normally not at. Whatever that deal is. People like to get deals, people like to buy stuff on sale. You're no different. I know businesses don't ultimately like to give sales all the time, but understand that's how we're conditioned to buy, so don't be afraid of it. So this upgrade is really when you can take that $20 customer, and if we're talking about the $14.97 product here, sure, that would be a big jump to go to $14.97, but you know, whatever that upgrade price is, you're gonna have to figure out your conversions and whatnot, but you're gonna sell them more into your core product or your core upgraded sale at this point. This is where you start actually making money. Once they're in that, then you can start offering them the premium stuff, which may be this $14.97. This might be the super upsell for you, right? Or the group sale where they're gonna pay a monthly fee for something, okay? But you gotta take them through a process. And so often, if you think about this as a girlfriend or a boyfriend, that's probably the easiest way to think through a sales process, from lead to first sale to upgrade to upsell, super upsell, and ongoing sell, or to a drop sell or down sell. Okay, think of it like a girlfriend. First you see the girlfriend and you got to get her to talk to you. Bribe. Once you got her to talk to you and you maybe go out on that first date, that's the micro sale, right? That's the time where you get to make that first impression. That's that time. But after that micro sale, you're not necessarily going to say, will you marry me? Because that'd be a little weird. You might go to the next thing. You might date for a while, and then you might say, hey, let's get engaged. Probably not after the first one, hopefully not. But that's here, because engaged, we're committed now. We're far enough into knowing this person or doing business with this person that it's okay to ask for that type of commitment, okay? And then let's get married is when the $1,497 sale probably really happens, because that's the sale that she told me never really happens for her. So that's maybe that thing that you might get turned down on a couple of those marriage proposals, but that's that thing that's going to happen every once in a while. But right here is kind of where you make your money, and then it's nice when a certain percentage of them say yes to being married to you. Now a drop sell or a down sell is just simply something that after maybe they say, hey, I don't want to get married right now, but I'd still like to date you or be engaged. That's kind of what the down sell portion of this would be, and that's really like some sort of thing that you've pre-planned out. If we use the idea of $14.97, maybe you say, well, you know, if you didn't want the $14.97, I do have this thing that has, 5 payments or what have you of, I don't know what the math would be, but $300 or something like that, or whatever that downsell is. It's pre-planned, it's pre-thought out. So to recap this, and so you guys can put this into implementation in your business, on your website, what have you. You start out with a bribe. Make this thing ridiculous. Make it to the point where people if you got 100 people on your site, would 100 people take action on the bribe that you're getting? That's a really good way to think of it in very small terms. If I got 100 people to this ad, would 100 people take me up on my bribe that I'm giving them? If you say no, or if you ask 10 people and 3 out of 10 say yes or whatever, you got a bad bribe. Up your bribe. Because the key is, got to get them into the process, got to get them on that first date, which is right here. That first date is where the money's going to be spent for the first time. It's where the trust is built. They know if you're a creep or if you're a cool dude. Okay? So at that point right there, this is where the magic begins to happen. But we got to get as many people to the first date in order to get them to this part of the sale, which is the upgrade into your core product or into your money-making products. Okay? So very simply, hook equals, we just met, let's talk, I want your phone number. This, first date. Core sale, let's get engaged. Upsell, let's get married and have some kids, whatever, right? Downsell, strategic way, I don't want to get married and have kids yet. I just want to continue being engaged for a little bit longer, but I do think I really do love you. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. If you have any questions about that, feel free to write me a note. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.